I'm going to attempt to fix this BMW E46 in 24 hours. This is going to be a pretty tough one.
In the past, these repairs used to take me over a week. But this time, we're trying to get it done in just 24 hours.
1 hour and 18 minutes left.
We'll just pause the timer when we go home to sleep. But why? Do you remember your first project car? This is mine. This is the car I've started wrenching 4 years ago. Still, it has some issues I couldn't fix. But now, I have to.
My girlfriend's Mazda 3 has an issue with oil consumption and we couldn't get this fixed. So therefore she's going to get this car. But before that, I want to fix it. It's actually pretty strange seeing another driver in this car, to be honest. But I think this car will fit her perfectly.
This challenge is going to be a lot harder than I thought.
My shoulder hurts so much, I don't know why.
So can we do them in a day? Well, at first we're starting by removing the fender. Therefore we need to remove a few bolts at the top and a few at the bottom.
We are even struggling with removing the fender. So we need to remove the fender and the two doors.
But after what felt like eternity, we finally removed this fender.
This alone took us 20 minutes.
But why are we even removing the fender?
So, as you can see here, the sill isn't attached to the car anymore, at least here. Oh gosh. That's not good. I can't leave it like that. Especially if we want to drive the car for the next few years. I didn't thought that it is that bad. Now I'm going to take off this cover here, this one. And we will see how it looks underneath there. Maybe there are some other rust spots. I don't know.
So let's remove all of the clips that hold in this plastic cover.
Do you think we're going to break some clips here? Okay, off it is. The f***. Come a little bit closer. Take a listen to that.
Later we will find the source of this noise.
Yeah, we are through. So. Okay, here at the back it looks pretty good.
So here we are removing both of the doors because I decided to replace the sill. The short answer is the inner rocker has some surface rust. I want to avoid having the same issue as on my E39.
The doors are now removed, and next step is we need to remove these plastic trims here and here, and then we can drill out all of the spot welds here for the sill. And we have 23 hours and 18 minutes left.
And these trims are very fragile, so we need to take care of them. And now we're removing the door gaskets. And of course, we need a replacement panel, so let's prepare it. And at first we're going to remove every bit of surface rust, because I have been owning this panel for about 5 years now. Yeah, I really bought this panel 5 years ago for my first E46, but I was way too nervous to tackle the job, so I ended up parting out the car instead. This panel also had some factory deformations, so we are making it straight right now there. Now we're removing all of the loose dust.
And now we are doing something I have never done before. And to be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I have prepared the whole sill. I have grinded down everything in the inner side. And my plan is to use some primer, which is converting to rust. So let's just try it. I mean, what can happen?
But of course, we are cleaning it first a second time. On goes the primer, and to be honest, I was nervous because I've never done something like this before. But in my opinion, it turned out great. Right after the primer, we are making all of the holes for the spot welds. Now we're scuffing up the surface again, and we are also removing all of the primer from the edges. Cleaning again, and in hindsight I wish I would have put some tape to mask these surfaces, because we are spraying on some well-through primer here. Back to the rocker panel replacement. Here we are removing all of the plastic clips that aren't needed for now. Test fitting time. And to be honest, it fitted pretty good. Here we are marking all of the outlines so that we know where to cut. Right after, we are starting to drill all of the spot welds that needed drilling. After drilling, we are using a hammer and a chisel, aka a screwdriver, and wedge it in between the two metal layers, forcing them to separate. 1.5 hours later, we've drilled all of the spot welds at the top. And now it is time to get up the car in the air and drill all of the spot welds on the bottom. Here you can see the tiny rust hole and the huge problem why I decided to remove the whole sill. And drilling again! Yeah, my favorite hobby! In this situation, I really didn't know how long this will take. But you and me, we're going to figure that out. And we have so many things left to do.
Now we are going to grind away all of this under seal here, and then we are going to drill all of the spot welds on the bottom here. When we are finished with that, we can put the car on the ground again and then hopefully remove the sill.
So now that we know where the spot welds are, we can drill them again. And we are also using my fake chisel again. Now I really think we have drilled all of the spot welds we could get to. The only spot welds left were by the checking points. And after removing them, we are ready to put on the other sill. Now we can really make the outlines for the new sill and then cut the old sill. And I've made quick process out of the old metal, and it was pretty scary. Using my fake chisel again.
So now we are taking a short break, but the timer still runs. We now have 19 hours and 18 minutes. Break is over. 18 hours and 26 minutes left.
Well, a few hours now passed. There was a problem. We couldn't get off the old sill because of a few spot welds we couldn't see. So we decided to cut the rocker panel in two parts and remove the top part of it.
Finally!
The good thing about that, we now knew where the missing spot welds are. And here I'm trying to show the rocker panel who's the boss. And after so many hours, we finally removed it.
Okay, finished! Finished for today. Goodbye! And now it is time to put on the new sill. And finally, after 8 hours, we have removed the sill, the old one. And now it is time for the new one. Thanks.
And please, take a look at that. Doesn't this look quite presentable? Yeah, of course. We need to modify all of the edges. So let's do it. Yet another test fit. But then we know for sure how much metal we still need to remove.
Almost, guys. We have so many things left to do. And I don't really know if I'm able to pull it off. As you can see here, I've put in the new sill. We just need to grind down all of the edges, prepare the car for the new sill. We need to modify it like here, here, and then we can weld it. My plan with this sill is to just tack weld it on for now, we have 13 hours and 18 minutes left. To be honest, that's not much. Let's just hope we are going to make it in the end. Why I'm doing this? 12 hours and 42 minutes left, and now we make sure that the sill fits perfectly.
So let's go on grinding. And after grinding for about 40 minutes, it fits.
We finally have all the gaps necessary. The panel fits pretty good. It doesn't fit perfectly, to be honest, but I think it's good enough. So my next step is to prepare the underside of the sill and make sure that every welding spot has no paint on it. Oh, and 12 hours left.
Now we're grinding off the leftovers from the old sill, so that we have a flush surface to spot weld on. And we are also removing all of the loose rust from the checking points and the underside of the car.
To be honest, guys, I'm pretty tired and I want to go home. And we have 11 hours left. And I don't know what runs out first. Either it's the time or my energy.
Last step, we are making sure that there is no paint where we are welding.
Now comes the extra rule. Since it's pretty late, I'm not allowed to use any loud tools. Great! 10 hours, 55 and 33 seconds. It's 9 o'clock.
Do you remember the strange noise?
Take a look at this. This is here from the factory.
This could be the reason for that.
Ta! Funny. Scuffing of the surface.
And we're doing that to create some small scratches to make sure that the new primer sticks better to it. Of course, we need to clean all of the surfaces. And then we can start to put on the new primer. And on the edges, where we are going to weld, we put on some weld-through primer.
10 hours and 18 minutes left. We just heard something here. Do you hear that? Oh, hello. You are pretty big.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, guys, I don't want to do this anymore, to be honest. We have 9 hours and 15 minutes left on the clock, and I think I'm going to go home now. Even when I'm going to lift my car, the possibility that I wake up neighbors is here, and I don't want any stress with my neighbors. We are going to do that, or the rest of the things, tomorrow. In 9 hours, 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Hopefully. So now it's the next day and I'm feeling refreshed again. And now we are also able to be loud again. My plan now is to put on the new sill and weld it on. So just tack weld it and then we leave it like that because I need to figure out what's wrong with the rear suspension, and I also want to get done the front suspension. 9 hours, 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And now we have time till 10 p.m.
So, one last step before we are welding. We need to make sure that every spot weld has either some weld-through primer or no paint at all.
We are going to put on the new rocker panel and then we're going to weld it. This is the last time we're going to see the inner structure of this car, hopefully. So, I'm now going to tack weld the new sill on the car. I'm just making sure that it will fit perfectly, and I'm leaving it like that for now.
If you liked this video so far, please share it with a friend who might also enjoy this video.
So we have tacked it on there and it holds. And now we're going to lift up the car in the air. Finally, after I don't know how many hours. We have 7 hours and 28 minutes left. So let's fix the rear suspension knock. Or differential knock, I don't really know, to be honest.
The rear end is clunking every time when changing gears or releasing the clutch.
Since my E46 is broken and needs some parts, I wonder where I get some parts. I really don't know, can you please help me? What's this? This is an E46! Wow, we have parts! Oops, sorry. Yeah, okay. Well, the problem with this car is it is a German car with German papers and somebody already stole some parts from it. So this is way cheaper than buying new parts. To be honest, it hurts a little bit to par out such a car. But getting this car on the road again will probably cost about 3,000 to 4,000 euros. And that's just not worth it. This car has 300,000 kilometers, it has mold all over the interior, and the engine leaks pretty badly. And it has no exhaust. I don't even have looked underneath the car. I would absolutely love to get this car on the road again. But at the moment, I don't really have the resources to do that.
I live in Austria and getting cars with German papers on the road here is too much of a hassle.
What the f***? I've never seen such a thing.
At least on a car with a 4-cylinder engine.
Oh my god. The pre-owner didn't say anything about that. And I haven't seen anything because this car is lowered. This car is a mess. This is a proper mess.
At first we are making sure that the gearbox won't fly out because the pre-owner took out this gearbox bridge. And now we're starting to loosen all the bolts for the drive shaft. And now we can take it out. Next step, we are going to remove all of the bolts from the half shafts to the differential. We are also switching the wheels because the pre-owner wants them back. Now we're using some WD-40 to make sure that we can undo this nut here. It holds the half shaft in the wheel hub.
And now we're trying to get out both half shafts. Well, this one goes out perfectly. I'm so happy because these can be such a pain. Well, let's hope I haven't jinxed myself. Same story here. So happy.
And last step, we are going to remove the differential.
I kinda know that sound. Take a listen to that. What if this bolt here in the back is not tight enough? Six hours and 45 minutes left. Now I just want to take a look at the rear bolt from the differential and try to torque it even more. Maybe this will help. I don't really know. This was definitely not enough.
Here we are torquing the rear bolt with 180 Newton meters of torque.
Now we're going to try if it even made a difference. I suspect that it didn't, but we'll see. Ooh. So I think I might have found out why the rear end is clunking like that. I believe the half shafts are a little bit broken.
A lot of you mentioned in the comments that the half shafts might be the issue. Thanks for the tip, by the way. So let's test out this theory. But first we need to lower the car. Otherwise the wheel would just turn. Next up, we are going to remove the stabilizer bar, otherwise it gets in our way. Let's unbolt the half shafts from the differential. And now we're able to pull out the half shaft. Well, at least I thought so. We just need to remove the 2 bolts from that stabilizer link.
Bye bye.
And now we're able to pull it out.
Hopefully you are broken. This is the original one, an original part, and this is aftermarket. But you can see how thick this boy is and how thin this boy is. I might have found the reason. This here is movable just a bit. Maybe this could be the issue. Here are some tooths here that drive the wheel, and if it clunks, we might have found our issue. Yes, we might have found something. Now I'm going to remove it and try it with the other one. Okay, let's hear that. Okay, we still have some play. Here's the drive shaft again I have removed from this car. And to be honest, the play here is a bit more. 5 hours and 25 minutes left, by the way.
So let's unbolt the exhaust at the back to make some room for the half shaft to go out. But first we're going to pull out the stabilizer bar.
Come on, out with you. Yes.
And here again the same process. And out it is.
This has some massive play in here. Can you hear that? I don't think this is normal. So I now have decided to remove the differential and the drive shaft.
Well, now we are unbolting everything in our way. At first the strengthening plate and then the exhaust. Now we're able to lower the car and drop the exhaust on my trolley. Let's remove all of the heating shields, which are held in by a few 10mm bolts. Now we are undoing the 3 bolts in the front of the drive shaft, the 4 smaller bolts in the back, and also the 2 middle ones. And out it comes.
Finally.
Now it's time to remove the differential. At first we are undoing the back bolt. Now we're gonna remove the torque strut, which is held in by 4 bolts and 2 nuts. Right after that we are undoing the 2 front differential bolts. Here comes my trolley again.
Okay, I don't see anything anymore because I looked in the lights. Great.
So, let's pull out this heavy boy. It weighs about 25 kilos.
Okay, so we have here both differential. This differential was in the car and it clunks a little bit. But these are pretty loose in here. And here, also pretty loose. And also clunks a little bit. This is out of the other car. I think this has less play. So to be honest, I think I'm going to put this one in here. The one from the other car. There isn't much difference between these two, but Yeah, I'm going to remove the rear suspension anyways in a few days because I'm going to do something that you have to do with these cars.
And in goes the new one. At first we're starting with the bolts in the front. Then we can push in the one in the back. Torquing the ones in the front with 95 Newton meters. Then put on the tension strut again. These nuts get 77 Newton meters and the one in the back 180.
3 hours and 3 minutes left. All we need to do now is to reinstall everything. Put the 2 half shafts back in, the drive shaft and then the exhaust, and then we just can hope that it will work and it doesn't clunk anymore.
Back in go the 2 half shafts.
I've just found the difference between those 2 drive shafts. So here is the drive shaft from this car, and that's the other drive shaft from the other car. Can you see that here? The center shaft bearing, now I have it right. And on here, take a look at how flexible this one is and how flexible this is. I think this is from an automatic. This could be the reason why my car is clunking. So let's put this one in the car. By the way, we have 2 hours and 35 minutes left.
Well, I guess we all know by now how to put back in the drive shaft. 4 bolts at the back, 3 bolts in the front and 2 in the middle. Back in with the heating shield and then the exhaust.
The car is now finished. At least the rear suspension. In a minute we will know if I did all of that for nothing or if we fixed the issue that has been following me for the past 4 years. Let's cross our fingers. And by the way, we have 1 hour and 27 minutes left.
We've already replaced so many parts. Oh hey, maybe these will make a difference.
It did nothing. Nothing at all. So you know, we now have 1 hour and 18 minutes left. My shoulder hurts so much, I don't know why. I don't really know if I'm able to pull off the front suspension. Not in this time, but maybe I can do it today. I don't really know. We couldn't get the rear suspension fixed. I don't even know why. I feel like this car is cursed. And now everything is fine again, and we have 1 hour and 18 minutes for the front suspension left. Time runs now.
So let's remove both of the front wheels.
So I'm going to change the dampers and the struts.
And now we are loosening the bolt that holds the strut in. But something bad is going to happen.
I was just on the phone with my dad and I thought, why not continue working? And then this happened. The screw which is holding in the strut just snapped. What should we do now? We have 35 minutes and 26 seconds. So my game plan is now to go to the other car. I'm so glad we have this car, and remove the whole steering knuckle, and hopefully then we are able to finish our project here.
I now really hope that the same won't happen on this side. But luckily we had luck.
30 seconds left. We won't make it in this time, to be honest. I guess it's fine, because we have done a lot of things, but not in this time. It's up.
And out goes the strut. Here are all of our new suspension parts. So let's compress the spring to be able to remove the spring from the damper. We are disassembling this unit because we need the rubber spring seats for the new strut. Let's put on the spring travel limiter, and now we're compressing the new spring to put it onto the damper. And all that's left to do now is to put on the top mount and the nut which holds this all together. Removing the spring compressors, and then we are able to put it in the car.
This is the old one, and take a look at that.
It is broken. And now we begin with the other side. The only option really is to remove the whole steering knuckle. Here we removed the nut from the ball joint and separated the steering knuckle from the lower control arm. Now we're loosening the tie rod, and we are also removing all of the brake parts.
Listen to that. Well, this wheel bearing is definitely broken. It's done. So I'm really glad we are doing this. Not right now, because I don't have the right socket and I don't have the right wrench for this right now.
Now we're separating the tie rod from the steering knuckle.
Oh, finally.
And the assembly
Perfect.
comes off. Now let's remove the strut from the steering knuckle.
We are now taking the front steering knuckle from the other car, and hopefully we won't break a bolt this time.
And now comes the part I was so nervous about. We are undoing the bolt that holds the strut in place. If this bolt also snaps, it's over. We would need a whole nother replacement part. Or we need to drill it out, and I don't really want to do that.
Here is the bolt. I'm so happy that we removed it, because I really thought this bolt is going to snap any time.
And now, with some brute force and ignorance and fire, we are removing the tie rod and the lower ball joint. And off it is. Now we are able to put the steering knuckle back on and torque the lower ball joint and the tie rod to 65 Newton meters. Last step, put in the strut. And now we are torquing the pinch bolt. Installing all of the brake components. And we need to undo the pinch bolt again, because I forgot to put on the bracket. Torquing the pinch bolt again. And last step, we need to put on the stabilizer link. Also 65 Newton meters. Now comes the other side. And done. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish everything in 24 hours, but we got a lot done. Overall, it took about 29 hours.